So I had a couple of really great things that happened. One, I remember Bank Hapoalim. I remember I was like running out of cash. Like I literally had no more money left. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to pay this one engineer I had? And then they're like, okay, we're moving forward. And then they had a check for like 75,000, I think is what it was. I'm like, oh, I'll pick
Oh my God.
by your office today. Like I was like, I'm coming down to Midtown right now. The CTO was like, okay. I'm like, no, I really need this now.
So that was a moment like where if that didn't happen, it might have been over.
Yeah, credit cards would have been racking up more. Yeah. So
That's a cool point to look back on.
it was a cool point. I had some really interesting experiences. One time I'm on a flight. JetBlue had just launched short a couple years before, and I remember some guy sits next to me. He's wearing like a employee badge. You just wearing jeans and t-shirts, sneakers, whatever. And I just sat next to him. I'm like, I love your airline. I think you guys have the most phenomenal airline. And I just kept telling him how great his airline is. And he's like, well, what do you do? And I'm like telling him what I do. And he was like, tell me more. Turned out he was like the CTO of JetBlue. He gave me the opportunity to come down to their headquarters at JFK Airport. They ended up being a client. So like I had some really crazy experiences that happened.
You ended up getting JetBlue as a client for online backup? That's crazy.
We backed up. I don't remember how many locations. We backed up some of their airports. Yeah, like
that's a lesson right there. You never know who you're talking to.
You never know. And my all-time favorite was I was cold calling people, and I was never really officially in sales ever in my life. But
you're a salesperson.
You have to figure it out. I cold called. I had like a 3-person hedge fund office, and they ended up going forward with me. And then they said, you should talk to our hedge fund hotel group.
Right.
Yes. And I'm like, sure. So I remember talking to this guy, Chris, I'll never forget it. He's like, what are you guys doing? What is this online backup? And I'm like, and I tell him what I'm doing. Like, I like this. He said, would you be able to offer maybe an exclusive discount to all the UBS hedge funds? And in return, we'll give you everyone. And I'm like,
sure.
Yeah. And then I remember all of a sudden, I think I had a few engineers at the time, and all of a sudden it was like, we were getting flooded. Like all of a sudden, like, well, okay, we have an office of 8, companies. We need you to back up starting today. And then tomorrow was like 5 more. We're like, oh my God, we were like running around like